All right, Dale Little here with Rescue American Ministries, and we're getting started here in Revelation chapter 19. Actually, we're not getting started, we're getting our second uh, teaching out of it. As we went through verse 6 or 7, I think last time, we'll pick up verse 7. And today, in chapter 19 of the book of Revelation, wanting to get through with this study. Been going at it for at least a couple of years. Started way back in the book of Joel and gone through several books of the Old Testament, several books of the New Testament, and then parts of books that had to do with the end times. And so that's what we've been dealing with. And so here we are in Revelation chapter 19. And so let's get started. This picks up after the fall of the wicked mystery Babylon, the wicked system that seems to run this world and rule this world at the time, only because God has permitted it for a time. The time is limited. As a matter of fact, that's one point that it says that Satan's is going to be on. Don't use this word, but basically on the warpath. He's going to really be out to do as much destruction as he can because he knows his time is short. His time is short. He's been given a lot of freedom in this world so far, and for a time. To an extent, like I say, he's still limited to what God allows him to do. He's still under God's control, but yet he has been given some freedom and some authority, as we saw earlier back in the book of Revelation here, where it talks about the beast came up out of the sea, and Satan, the dragon, Satan gave him his authority. So then Satan couldn't give the beast the authority if he didn't have the authority to give. But God has given him some authority, but some, not all authority. He is still underneath the Jesus Christ, and as I can still say faithfully and confidently that I'm no match for Satan myself, but with me and Jesus, he's no match for us. So, what's the worry? It's a battle, and it will be until he's gone out of the way. And so here's Babylon the Great is fallen, that system. And so here, then Jesus is about ready to set up his millennial kingdom. We're starting towards that process now. In verse 7, and we're talking about the marriage supper of the Lamb. Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife hath made herself ready. I hope you understand, if you're not familiar with the church, if you're not familiar with Christianity, the bride is the church of Jesus Christ. The bride are the true believers in Jesus Christ around the world. It's not just in one location, but universal. And her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white, for the fine linen is the righteousness of saints. Notice here that, and I'm taking this pretty much verse by verse here, and her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white. In other words, her linen wasn't that way. When Jesus comes back, the church, I'm telling you, the church is not going to be perfect. There are those who believe that the church is going to keep improving things here on earth so much that we'll have things ready for Jesus to come back. Well, why is he coming back with a sword coming out of his mouth to defeat the enemies with, if the church is already taken care of it? That doesn't make sense. No, Jesus Christ will complete the final victory. It won't be the church. The church is important. The church is his bride. And it says that let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife hath made herself ready. And her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white. For the fine linen is the righteousness of saints. So follow this real close. The fine linen was granted to her. It wasn't something she earned. It wasn't something the church made. It's clean and white. And it stands for the righteousness of saints. But just like you and I, the church, because it's made up of people just like you and I, the church has no righteousness of its own. I have no righteousness of my own. I depend on the righteousness of Jesus Christ. It's on His righteousness that I will be able to enter into heaven. The church doesn't have it. I don't have it. Jesus Christ does. Verse 9, it says, And he saith unto me, Right, blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he saith unto me, These are the true sayings of God. I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said to me, See, thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren, and have the testimony of Jesus. Worship God, for the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. So, and we may close with this. Keep this one a short version, and we'll pick up verse 11 later on. And he said unto me, Write it, blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. I have a little joke I use quite often around with that. You know, when I was growing up as a child here and a young man in western North Carolina, we had 3 meals a day. We had breakfast, we had dinner, and we had supper. And somewhere, I guess when people moving down from up in New England and other places moving down here, and you know, they begin to say, well, no, it's supposed to be breakfast, and lunch, and dinner. Well, what happened to supper? That's sad. I mean, you say, why is it sad? Because when Jesus calls, or the angel, whoever calls for the marriage supper of the Lamb, it's been made ready. People are going, well, supper? What's that? What are they talking about? I'm afraid they might miss it. Now, I'm joking, of course. No, if you're part of the body of Christ, you're not going to miss the marriage supper of the Lamb. But, yeah, somewhere we changed all that. I kind of use that to joke around with people a little bit. Some of these people that really like the breakfast, lunch, and dinner and think it's more sophisticated, I think, somehow. And so, you know, that's what they stress for. Look, things are looking up. Even in the midst of turmoil, even in the midst of circumstances that are going on in the world and the problems we may face, and there's plenty out there. It's I don't know how we're going to, seniors are going to continue to make a living, to survive, really, on Social Security and even in some retirement. It got to the place where you could really squeak by. But since my wife and I came back from Romania, and we came back to prices that were sky high, and so that's just the way it is, and hard to make it. But listen, Jesus Christ is still in control. Jesus Christ is still in control. So we'll pick up verse 11 next time, Dale Little, Rescue America Ministries.